If this is you sitting there scrolling through your phone, wondering why she isn't texting back, wondering if maybe you said too much, showed too much, tried too hard, then you already know the weight of it. Maybe this feels familiar. The gnawing doubt in your chest every time your phone buzzes, but it's not her. Maybe you've asked yourself, am I invisible to her? Does she even care? And every time you try to step back, every time you attempt the so-called art of ignoring her, you're left staring at the silence, questioning if it's working, or if you're just digging a deeper hole. Maybe you've caught yourself replaying every interaction, every word, every joke, every glance. The way she laughed, or didn't laugh, at that thing you said, the way her eyes lingered, or didn't linger, on you. Maybe you felt the sting of chasing someone who seems to slip further away with every move you make. And maybe, just maybe, a voice in your head whispers, if I just ignore her, if I just pull back, she'll come running. But deep down, the uncertainty eats at you. The tension between wanting her attention and trying not to care feels like a game you didn't agree to play, but somehow got stuck in. Every missed text feels like a judgment. Every delayed response makes you question your worth. You feel like you're walking a tightrope between confidence and desperation, between strategy and emotional chaos. And that's the real question gnawing at you right now. Can ignoring a woman really flip the script? Or are you just fooling yourself, trapped in your own mind while she does exactly what she wants? Most men get this all wrong. They hear about ignoring a woman and immediately think it's about playing games, about hiding, about pretending not to care while hoping she chases. That's not how it works. That's where so many fall into desperation without even realizing it. You see, the real art of this isn't about manipulation. It's about presence. It's about value. And it's about understanding the rules of masculine energy that women naturally respond to. Here's the truth. When a man pulls back in the wrong way, it's obvious. It reeks of insecurity. It sends her signals that you are reactive, that your emotions are dictated by hers. And when that happens, no amount of silence or strategic ignoring will create desire. Desire comes from strength, from calm confidence, from the unshakable understanding that your value is not determined by her attention or approval. One core principle most men overlook is this: a high value man's presence is felt even in absence. You don't need to chase, you don't need to beg, you don't need to manufacture attention. You simply hold yourself steady, live your life fully, and your energy naturally pulls people in. Another principle, emotional sovereignty. Your emotions are yours, not hers. When you anchor yourself there, you stop reacting to her mood swings and start setting the tone with your own. That is power. That is magnetic. Most men confuse silence with scarcity, absence with weakness. But the truth is, when a man cultivates his own life, his own pursuits, and his own emotional control, ignoring a woman isn't about tricks, it's about clarity. It's about demonstrating that your time, attention, and energy are precious, and that only someone who respects that will earn access. That shift, that grounded energy, is the difference between chasing needily and commanding attraction effortlessly. He sits on the edge of his bed, phone in hand, the glow of the screen casting a pale light across his face. The apartment is quiet, except for the faint hum of the city outside, a distant pulse he can't quite reach. He scrolls through the messages, her name at the top unread. He swallows, heart tight in his chest, wondering if ignoring her was the right move. Maybe it was supposed to make her chase, to spark desire, but all he feels now is the weight of emptiness. He remembers the way she laughed the last time they spoke, the tilt of her head when she looked at him, the warmth in her voice that made him feel alive. And now, silence. Each second stretches longer than the last. He runs his fingers through his hair, tries to focus on the music playing softly in the background, but every note reminds him of the gap between what he wants and what he has. He wonders silently, am I too much? Or am I not enough? His mind spirals into every word he said, every text sent, every sign he thinks he missed. The room feels smaller, the walls pressing in, yet outside the window, life continues like nothing has changed. Cars rush by, lights flicker, people laugh in cafes. Unaware of the storm inside him, he takes a breath and sets the phone down, the silence both a relief and a torment. There's clarity in it, a strange power in simply sitting with himself, letting the uncertainty live alongside him. And as the minutes pass, he begins to feel it, the shift. Desire, attention, connection, none of it can be forced. Not by words, not by chasing, not by clever games. Some things only emerge when he stops reacting and starts existing fully in his own life. And in that quiet, a question lingers, unspoken yet undeniable. Does she notice the man who doesn't bend, or only the one who bends too easily? Most men think ignoring a woman is about playing a game, about hiding, about making her chase. That's not true. The first false belief is that attention equals value. You've been told that if she's not texting back immediately, you've failed, that you're losing control. But the truth is, your value doesn't live in her replies. It lives in how fully you occupy your own life. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself, Voss. Another common misconception is that Oz pulling away will make her desire you more. Men believe that absence creates magic, that silence is a tool to manipulate her emotions. In reality, absence only works when it comes from strength, not fear. When you're grounded in your own purpose, your presence, whether visible or unseen, speaks louder than any text. Your energy is louder than your words. So the third false belief is that as emotional reactions prove masculinity. Every time you panic, overthink, or chase, you reinforce the opposite of what you think. Desire isn't created by neediness, it's created by calm, unshakable confidence. When you stop reacting to her moods and start controlling your own, you step into a kind of power most men never experience. Confidence isn't loud, it's silent, and it pulls her in without a word. These aren't tricks, they're truths. Ignoring a woman isn't about scarcity or games. It's about mastering yourself first. When you do that, the game changes, and she either rises to meet you or she doesn't. But either way, your life keeps moving forward. This is what the 1% headman understands. His attention is a currency, not a weapon. He doesn't measure his worth by who texts back, who responds, or who chases him. He knows that desire is not created through chasing. It emerges naturally when a man lives fully, stands firm, and carries his own energy. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He doesn't pull away out of fear or frustration. He pulls inward, anchoring himself in purpose, in growth, in the life he's building. He recognizes that every reaction he gives is a reflection of himself, not her. And because of that, he doesn't need to manipulate, beg, or prove anything. He simply exists as someone who cannot be shaken by her absence. This is how he moves through the world, calm, grounded, and magnetic. The silence between him and her isn't tension. It's clarity. It's proof that he values himself above temporary attention. And in that space, he doesn't just wait for attraction to happen. He becomes the kind of man who naturally commands it effortlessly. When you adopt this mindset, ignoring isn't a trick. It's a reflection of your inner authority. And that authority changes everything. He's sitting alone, the phone lying face down on the table. And for the first time, he isn't scrolling. The quiet feels different now, less like emptiness and more like space. Space to breathe, space to think. And in that silence, a thought surfaces, almost like a whisper. I've been giving my energy to someone who doesn't decide my value. He remembers the nights he stayed up overthinking, the moments he compromised himself for a fleeting sign of attention, the way his own voice got quieter so hers could be louder. And in that remembrance, a spark ignites. He sees clearly that his worth wasn't ever in her messages or her reactions. It was always inside him, waiting overlooked. The tension in his chest begins to ease. He leans back, closes his eyes, and for a heartbeat, he just feels himself. Strong, unshakable, present. The need to chase dissolves. The desire to control fades. All that remains is him, anchored, alive, complete. And in that moment, he realizes the power has never been about her. It's always been about him. The game changes not when she notices, but when he remembers, if I am enough, I am unmovable. I am the prize you've chased, you've overthought, You've waited for signals that never came. And now, in the quiet, you see it. The truth you've been blind to desire isn't earned through absence or games. It's earned by standing firm in your own life, by holding your value like a shield no one can pierce. Ignoring isn't a trick. It's a reflection of who you are when no one is watching. And in that reflection, you realize the power was never hers to give. The man who owns himself never has to chase.